He deleted the message without replying. Another vibration. Lisa, please, Evan, just a few minutes. Delete. Upstairs, drawers opened and shut amid muffled mother-daughter exchanges. Evan reopened his banking app, scanning the transfers he'd arranged. Everything was in order, waiting for final confirmation. Another knock on his office door. "Dad?" Megan's voice sounded uncertain. "Can I come in?" "I'm busy. Please, it's important." He debated ignoring her, but detected something in her tone, an urgent mix of determination and desperation that piqued his curiosity. "Fine." The door eased open, revealing Megan in the doorway, clutching a garment bag, carrying a bag from the dry cleaners. Her dark hair loosely tied in a messy bun. Her face displayed a swirl of conflicting emotions. "What is it?" She stepped into the office, shutting the door behind her. "I know you're upset." Upset doesn't even begin to describe it. "But Mom's really anxious about tonight. Maybe if you just spoke to her about—" Evan's voice cut sharply. "About the best way to humiliate me? Should I give her dating advice? Help her decide which of my favorite outfits to wear for another man? That's not fair." She's trying to be honest about her feelings. She could have just— He straightened, his height causing Megan to instinctively retreat a step. "She could have just gone behind my back and had an affair without saying anything? Is that your suggestion? Would that have been better?" "No. I mean, she could have left without any explanation, like Mrs. Peterson did last year. Instead, she's trying to involve you in— Involve me." Evan's laugh was bitter enough to make Megan flinch. "That's what you call this? Involving me? She wants to save your marriage. She thinks if she can figure out what's missing—" "The only things missing are loyalty and respect." He turned back to his desk. "Go help your mother get ready. You seem to have a knack for supporting betrayal. Why are you being so mean? This isn't like you. The father you knew wouldn't have believed his daughter could help destroy his marriage." He grabbed another pencil. "Close the door on your way out." "Dad, please." "Leave." His voice cracked like a whip. "Go back to your partner in crime. You've made your position clear." Megan fled the office, the garment bag rustling as she rushed upstairs. Through the vents, her muffled sobs echoed, followed by Lisa's concerned voice. "Sweetie, what's wrong?" "Dad, he's so different, so cold." "Oh, honey, he's hurting. Give him time." "Time? Time for what?" Megan's voice broke. "Time to hate us more?" Their voices faded into unintelligible murmurs. Evan refocused on his computer, pulling up their investment accounts. 20 years of careful saving and planning, now ready to be divided. With a few keystrokes, accounts drained and new balances appeared. Each transfer felt like hammering another nail into his marriage's coffin. His phone buzzed. "Lisa, I laid out your blue tie this morning, the one that matches your eyes." Delete. "Lisa, remember our first date? how nervous we both were. Delete. Lisa, please don't let this be how we end. Delete. The afternoon light dimmed, shadows stretching across his desk like clawing fingers. Upstairs, preparations continued. The hum of a hairdryer, the slide of closet doors, and the click of heels on hardwood floors. Another knock at his door. Dad? Megan again. Mom wants to know if you'll have dinner before she leaves. Have dinner with my wife before her date. His laugh was sharp and cold. How thoughtful of her. She made your favorite pasta, the one Grandma taught her to make. Using my mother's recipe before going out with another man. Perfect. Why can't you even try to understand? Mom feels trapped, like she's lost herself. Lost herself? Evan stood abruptly, his chair slamming against the wall. Lost herself? What about what I've lost? My wife, my daughter, my family, all shattered because she needs to find herself in someone else's arms. That's not what this is about. She loves you. She just needs... Get out. His voice dropped dangerously. Get out before I say something I can't take back. Dad, the door slammed. More tears, more footsteps, more betrayal. His phone vibrated persistently. 5:45 p.m. Lisa, the necklace you gave me for our anniversary, is it okay if I wear it? Delete. 5:50 p.m. Lisa, I remember the day you gave it to me. You said pearls were timeless, like our love. Delete. 5:55 p.m. Lisa, please answer me. Delete. The shower upstairs turned on again as Lisa completed her preparations. Her perfume drifted through the vents, the same fragrance she'd worn on their first date, their wedding day, and every anniversary. Evan methodically pulled up their credit card accounts, starting the cancellation process. Each card represented shared memories, the one for vacations, household needs, and special nights out. Date nights. The irony wasn't lost on him. The shower stopped. More footsteps. The clicking heels drew closer. How do I look? Lisa's voice, presumably to Megan. Beautiful. The pearls were a good choice. Dad gave them to you for your 15th anniversary. Said they reminded him of our first trip to the beach. Mom, are you crying? Maybe I should talk to him one more time. Footsteps neared his office. A soft knock. Evan. Lisa's voice barely above a whisper. I'm leaving now. He said nothing, staring at the computer screen as another account transfer finalized. I'll be home by midnight. Maybe we can talk then. Really talk. Silence. I do love you. Please remember that. Her heels clicked away. The front door opened and closed. A car started in the driveway. Evan moved to the window, watching as Lisa's car reversed down the street. The black dress, his favorite, the pearl necklace, his anniversary gift. Her hair styled just the way he'd always loved, all for another man. As Lisa's car disappeared, Evan's phone buzzed with another message from Megan. She nearly turned around twice before finally stepping into the car. Please talk to her. With deliberate actions, he blocked his daughter's number and shifted back to his financial tasks. The computer screen cast a cold, bluish glow on his face as he methodically unraveled 2 decades of shared finances. From downstairs, he could hear Megan moving about the kitchen, probably preparing a dinner neither of them would touch. The occasional clatter of dishes and the sound of running water created an ironically domestic background to his destructive work. His phone lit up with Lisa's first text from the restaurant. Just arrived at Lame Zone. They sat us at a corner table. Remember when we used to come here for anniversaries? Evan's jaw tightened as he erased the message. Lame Zone, their special celebration spot, the place he proposed, where they marked birthdays, promotions, and anniversaries. Now, she was there with Derek. A knock interrupted his thoughts. Dad? Megan's voice wavered. I made dinner. You need to eat something. Not hungry. Please, I used Grandma's recipe, just like Mom taught me. Like your mother taught you? His tone dripped with bitterness. Did she teach you about loyalty too? About respect? Or were those lessons lost between helping her pick out dresses and covering her phone calls? That's not fair. I was trying to help. Help destroy our family? Congratulations. Mission accomplished. Silence lingered beyond the door, broken only by a muffled sob and footsteps retreating down the hall. His phone buzzed again. Lisa's texts continued. Derek's acting strange. Keeps talking about his experiences with married women. Delete. The waiter recognized me and asked where you were. Delete. I keep thinking about our first time here. You were so nervous about proposing. Delete. Each message bolstered Evan's determination. He opened another banking window, launching the next step in his plan. The joint investment account, set up when Megan was born to fund her college education, hovered on the screen. His finger paused over the transfer button. That money was intended for their daughter's future, but daughters who sided against their fathers forfeited such privileges. Click. Transfer completed. More messages appeared. Derek seems bored. Delete. He just told me I look pretty good for my age. Is this what I really wanted? Delete. I made a huge mistake. Please answer me. Delete. A soft knock broke his focus. Dad? Megan again. Mom's been texting me. Derek's acting really weird. Surprise. The man willing to date a married woman isn't Prince Charming. He replied coldly. She's crying in the bathroom. She wants to come home. Then she knows the address. Why are you being like this? Megan pushed the door open, her face streaked with tears. She made a mistake. She's trying to fix it. Evan turned to her, his expression as hard as stone. A mistake? Let's discuss mistakes, Megan. Forgetting an anniversary, burning dinner. Those are mistakes. Planning for weeks to betray your husband while your teenage daughter acts as lookout. That's a choice. She was honest with you. She could have what? Snuck around behind my back. Would that have been better? He rose, towering over her. Or maybe she should have included me in her preparations, asked for help picking lingerie for Derek. Stop it! You're twisting everything. No, you and your mother did that just fine without my help. He turned back to his computer. Go to your room. You've done enough damage for one lifetime. The door slammed so hard the walls shook. Megan's sobs echoed as she ran to her room, but he barely noticed through the icy resolve in his veins. His phone rang. Lisa. He declined. More messages followed. Please pick up. I need to talk. Derek's talking about his collection of married women like we're trophies. I feel sick. This isn't what I wanted. Please answer me. Please. Each text reaffirmed his decision. As Lisa confronted the fallout of her choices, Evan continued dismantling their shared life. Bank accounts, credit cards, investment portfolios, all undone with clinical precision. Later, his phone rang again. Lisa's tearful voice filled the voicemail. Evan, I made a horrible mistake. Derek's not who I thought. He's awful. Please call me back. Delete. More messages followed. I'm leaving the restaurant. Coming home. Please talk to me when I get there. We can fix this, please. Delete. At 11:30, headlights swept across his office window. A car door shut softly. The front door opened and closed with equal caution. Mom, Megan's voice floated up from downstairs. Are you okay? Not now, sweetie. Is your father still in his office? Do you want to talk to him? Footsteps clicked on the stairs, slower and more hesitant now. A gentle knock followed. Evan, I'm home. He stayed silent, eyes fixed on the final transfers completing on his screen. Please, can we talk? Tonight was horrible. Derek's not who I thought. He treated me like just another conquest. Kept talking about other married women he's been with. I felt cheap and stupid. Still, Evan didn't respond. I made a terrible mistake. I see that now. Please, Evan, can we just talk? I'll do anything to fix this. Finally, he spoke, his voice devoid of emotion. Go to bed, Lisa. We'll talk in the morning. Her heels retreated slowly, followed by the faint click of their bedroom door. Minutes later, the sound of the shower filled the house, likely an attempt to wash away her guilt. Evan lingered, listening as the water ceased. Drawers opened and shut, and muffled sobs seeped through the walls. Only when the silence became absolute did he stir. From the depths of his closet, he pulled out the suitcases he had stashed days earlier. Each was packed with military precision: clothes, documents, electronics, everything essential for his new life, carefully selected and compacted. The rest could be replaced. His wedding ring caught the faint light as he reached for the first bag, moving with purpose. He slid the ring off his finger, setting it on his desk. 2 decades of marriage reduced to a plain gold band. Working under the cover of darkness, he loaded each suitcase into his car. The cool night breeze carried the scent of autumn as leaves danced across the driveway, their rustling breaking the suburban quiet. Between trips, he caught faint sounds from upstairs. Megan's door opening, her soft steps passing his office. "Mom," her whispered voice filtered through the vents. "Are you awake? Come here, sweetie." Lisa's voice trembled with emotion. "How was it?" Megan asked softly. "Awful, Derek. He isn't who I thought he was," Lisa replied, her voice cracking. "He spent the night bragging about other married women he's dated, called them his collection." A choked sob followed. "What have I done? Dad will forgive you. He has to." "You didn't see his eyes, Megan. The way he looked at me, at us, like strangers. He's just upset. He'll need time. Time won't fix this. I ruined everything and dragged you into it." Their voices faded as Evan carried another suitcase outside. Let them console each other, share their remorse. It changed nothing. Back in his office, he took one last look around. 2 decades of memories adorned the walls. Family vacations, Megan's school awards, anniversary cards proclaiming undying love. Lies. All of it. Now meaningless. His desk was bare, except for 3 items. A sealed envelope containing divorce papers, his wedding ring, and a single photo of Megan as a little girl. She had been Daddy's girl then, her smile gap-toothed and innocent, eyes brimming with trust and affection he had once taken for granted. With mechanical detachment, he tore the photo into quarters, letting the fragments fall into the trash. The wedding ring followed. Only the envelope remained. Inside, beyond the legal documents, was a letter outlining what he had done with their finances. By Monday morning, his attorney would handle the rest. Evan tapped his computer mouse, waking the screen for a final review. Joint accounts emptied, credit cards canceled, investments transferred, college fund secured, new apartment ready. Everything was in place. Everything was done. He shut the laptop, unplugged it, and added it to his briefcase. The office now felt hollow, stripped of any personal touch, just like his marriage. In the hallway, he hesitated. From the master bedroom came the muffled sound of Lisa's weeping. Down the hall, Megan's television played softly, her usual comfort on restless nights. For a moment, memories assaulted him. Lisa curled against him on sleepless nights, Megan climbing into their bed during thunderstorms, family movie nights filled with popcorn and laughter. He crushed the thoughts mercilessly. That life was finished. That family was gone, destroyed by their betrayal. His steps were silent as he descended the stairs for the last time. The house felt foreign now, haunted by what once was and could never be again. Family photos lined the walls, mocking the facade they had lived. He eased the front door open. It swung silently, oiled the day before in preparation for this moment. Cool night air brushed his face as he stepped outside, carrying the last of his bags. A movement caught his eye. Through Megan's bedroom window, her face glowed in the light of her phone. Their eyes met briefly before he turned away without acknowledgement. The car started quietly, another detail he had planned. As he backed out of the driveway, he glimpsed her one final time, hand pressed against the glass. Let her watch. Let her remember. Let her learn the cost of betrayal. The street stretched empty as he drove away, leaving behind 2 decades of marriage and 17 years of fatherhood in the rearview mirror. The house shrank in the distance until it vanished completely, taking with it the final traces of the life he had built. By morning, Lisa and Megan would awaken to discover his absence. The deserted accounts perused the divorce papers, comprehending the full ramifications of their decisions. But by that point, he would be out of their reach, beyond their sorrow, and beyond their regret. They had chosen their route, and now he was deciding his. And unlike his wife and daughter, he wouldn't look back. Saturday morning arrived with an oddly bright appearance, sunlight flooding through the Morton household's windows as though nothing had changed. Lisa stirred in her bed, her eyes heavy from both tears and inadequate sleep. The house felt different, quieter, emptier. She called out for Evan, her voice echoing in the stillness of the bedroom. The other side of the bed lay undisturbed, the covers smooth and untouched. Down the hallway, Megan's door creaked open. "Mom, is Dad up?" Lisa slipped into her robe, a knot tightening in her stomach. "Maybe he's in his office," she murmured. But Evan's office door stood ajar, which was unusual for him. Inside, the room was nearly stripped of everything. Desk cleared, walls bare, computer gone. Only an envelope remained, placed perfectly on the polished desk. "Mom?" Megan's voice, small and unsure, came from behind her. "What's going on?" With trembling hands, Lisa opened the envelope. The divorce papers slipped out first, followed by a letter written in Evan's neat handwriting. "Lisa, by the time you read this, our joint accounts will be drained, the credit cards canceled, and the investment portfolio transferred. Your decisions have consequences. You wanted freedom, and now you have it. Don't try to contest anything. Everything I've done is legal. My lawyer will reach out to you on Monday." Evan, he was gone. Megan's voice wavered. "Just like that?" Lisa sank into Evan's desk chair, her legs unable to bear her weight. "Check the closet. His car?" Megan rushed downstairs, her cry piercing the house. "His car's gone, along with all his tools." Lisa's hands trembled as she grabbed her phone, clumsily entering her password into the banking app. $47.52, she muttered in disbelief. That was all that remained in their joint checking account. The savings account was empty, and the investment account denied access. "No, no, no," she whispered, trying the credit cards. All were declined. Megan's hurried footsteps echoed as she raced up the stairs, her face pale. "Mom, the emergency cash is gone too, and Dad's not answering his phone." Lisa tried calling him, but it went straight to voicemail. She tried his work number. It was disconnected. His email bounced back. "What are we going to do? All my college money." Megan's voice broke. Lisa stared at the divorce papers, the words blurring in front of her eyes. "We'll figure something out. Maybe if I call Derek." Megan's voice turned cold. "After what he did to you last night?" Lisa hesitated. "He has money. Maybe he can help." Megan took a step back. "Are you serious? He treated you like dirt, and you're thinking of calling him. He bragged about collecting married women like trophies. Lisa nodded. I know, but we need help. Megan stepped further away. Dad was right about you, about both of us. Lisa reached for her daughter. Honey, please don't. Megan jerked back. This is your fault. You had to chase some stupid fantasy, and now everything's ruined. Lisa's hands fell to her sides. I know I made a mistake. If your father would just talk to me, talk to you. Megan's laugh was bitter, identical to Evan's. Lisa flinched. What's left to say? You dressed in his favorite clothes, wore the pearls he gave you, and went on a date with another man. I helped you do it. Her voice broke. We destroyed everything. The doorbell rang, startling both of them. Lisa rushed downstairs, a brief spark of hope lighting her. But instead of Evan, she found Susan, their neighbor, on the porch. Lisa, I saw Evan leaving with suitcases last night. Is everything okay? The concern in Susan's voice made Lisa's cheeks burn. How many others had seen? How many were already gossiping? Everything's fine, Lisa said quickly, forcing a smile. Just a business trip. Susan looked unconvinced. Well, if you need anything? She started, but Lisa shut the door, leaning against it as her phone buzzed. It was a text from Derek. Last night was fun, but let's not do it again. I prefer my married women a little younger. No offense. The phone slipped from her numb hands and fell to the floor with a clatter. Upstairs, she could hear Megan crying. Monday arrived with relentless precision. At exactly 9 a.m., Lisa's phone rang. Mrs. Morton, this is James Warner from Warner and Associates. I'm handling your husband's divorce filing. Lisa gripped the phone tighter. There must be some mistake. If I could just talk to Evan. The lawyer's voice was cold and professional. Mr. Morton has instructed that all communication be directed through our office. The preliminary hearing is set for next week. Given the situation, Mr. Morton is requesting an expedited process. What situation? Lisa asked. Your admitted intention to engage in extramarital affairs, Mrs. Morton, along with your daughter's testimony about assisting you in arranging these encounters. Lisa's blood ran cold. Testimony? Mr. Morton has provided detailed documentation of your actions, including text messages between you and your daughter discussing your plans. But those were private, Lisa exclaimed. They were on a family plan he paid for, Mrs. Morton. It's perfectly legal for him to access them, the lawyer replied. I must caution you that Mr. Morton has already taken control of most of your marital assets due to your actions, and challenging this would be ill-advised. The lawyer's words blending into a bureaucratic mess of terms like at-fault divorce and alienation of affection. When the call ended, Lisa sat motionless, unable to process the information, until Megan's voice broke the silence. Mom, the credit card got declined at the store, and the power company called about the bill. The harsh reality hit. No access to any accounts, no credit cards, no savings, and no income. Lisa checked her work email, finding a message from her boss requesting an urgent meeting to discuss recent developments. By evening, she had lost her job as well due to a morality clause. her supervisor explained awkwardly. Once the divorce is public, we have a reputation to uphold. I've worked here for 15 years, and we've appreciated your service, but given the situation, she left with a box of personal belongings and 2 weeks' severance pay, barely enough to cover a month's mortgage. Weeks passed in a blur of rising bills and dwindling bank accounts. Lisa tried calling Derek repeatedly, but his number was blocked and her emails bounced back. He had disappeared, just like her former life. Megan, once so close, grew more distant with each passing day. The teenager who used to eagerly help her mother prepare for a date now barely spoke to her. I got accepted to State University, Megan said one morning, sliding an envelope across the kitchen table. That's wonderful, Lisa said, reaching for the acceptance letter. But, honey, with the college fund gone. I know, Megan replied flatly. Sarah offered to help. She said I could live with her, get a part-time job, but that's 3 states away. Better than watching you check your phone every 5 minutes, hoping Derek will call. Megan stood up, or pretending like we're not about to lose the house. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage, Mom, and the electricity's getting shut off next week, unless we can pay. And you're still acting like this is all just temporary, like Dad's going to forgive us and come home. He might, if we could just explain, Lisa began. Explain what? Megan's voice cracked. How I helped my mother cheat on my father? How I stood lookout while you called your boyfriend? How I helped pick out the dress you wore to betray him? It wasn't like that. It was exactly like that. And now everything is gone. Dad, my college fund, our home. Tears streamed down Megan's face. I'm calling Aunt Sarah tonight. I can't stay here anymore. Megan left for her aunt's house the following week, taking 2 suitcases and years of shattered trust. At the bus station, Lisa made one last attempt to reach her daughter. Please don't go. We can figure this out together. Megan's laugh was hollow, like how we figured out which dress would impress Derek, or how we planned the perfect date to destroy Dad's life. I never meant... Save it, Megan interrupted, stepping back. You know what the worst part is? Dad was right about everything. About you, about me, about how badly we betrayed him. She picked up her bags. I can't even blame him for hating us. He doesn't hate you. He's your father. Not anymore. He made that pretty clear. 3 days earlier, Megan had tried one last time to contact Evan. She went to his office building, but the security guard stopped her in the lobby. I'm sorry, Miss Morton. You're on the restricted list. No access allowed. But he's my father. Please just tell him I'm here. Mr. Morton left explicit instructions. No contact with you or your mother. She tried writing a letter instead. Dad, I know what we did was unforgivable, but please just talk to me. I'm your daughter. I love you. Megan. The letter was returned, unopened, with a returned to sender stamp. Now, watching her daughter board the bus, Lisa felt the last remnants of her world disintegrating. She had lost everything. Her husband, daughter, job, home, and reputation. The final eviction notice came a week later. Lisa stood in the empty house, surrounded by boxes, the remnants of her life. Most of their belongings had been sold to cover basic expenses. Her phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. For a moment, hope surged. Evan Derrick. But it was a message from a former colleague. Heard Evan's company promoted him. He's dating some junior executive. Thought you should know. Lisa sank to the floor, her legs giving way. She had driven past his office countless times, hoping to catch a glimpse of him. She had sent emails, letters, and messages through mutual friends. Each attempt met with the same wall of silence. The few friends who still spoke to her reported that Evan had moved on completely. He had bought a luxury apartment downtown, joined an exclusive gym, and started mentoring young executives. His life was flourishing, while hers lay in ruins. "He won't even say your names," one friend admitted. "Someone mentioned Megan at a company party, and he just walked away. It's like you both never existed." Lisa's phone buzzed again. "The realtor movers will be there at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Make sure all personal items are cleared out." She looked around the empty living room, where 20 years of memories echoed through the bare walls. Family photos had left lighter squares on the fading wallpaper, ghost images of happier times. Upstairs, she paused in Megan's doorway. The room was stripped bare except for a few posters Megan hadn't wanted. In the master bedroom, her closet was empty. Designer clothes and shoes sold for pennies to cover utility bills. Her phone rang. It was Sarah. Megan's settled in. She's got a job interview at the mall next week. Can I talk to her? A pause. She doesn't want to. She says she needs space to process everything. She's my daughter, and you used her to help destroy her father's trust. Give her time. How much time? Lisa's voice cracked. Evan's never coming back. I've lost my job, my home. I can't lose Megan, too. You should have thought about that before dragging her into your mess. Sarah's voice hardened. Megan needs stability right now. She needs to focus on school, on building a future. She can't do that while watching you self-destruct. The call ended, leaving Lisa alone in the echoing house. Tomorrow, she would move into a studio apartment in a rough part of town, what she could afford on her new salary as a retail clerk. Her phone held one last surprise, an email from Derek, probably drunk, sent at 2 a.m. "Hey babe, heard things got rough. That's why I don't usually go for married chicks. Too much drama. But thanks for the fun night. You were number 12 in my collection. Take care." Lisa deleted the email with trembling fingers. In the growing darkness, she sank down against the wall, surrounded by the wreckage of her choices. Somewhere across town, Evan sat in his new apartment, reviewing contracts for tomorrow's meeting. His phone buzzed, a message from his new girlfriend about their dinner reservations. He smiled slightly as he confirmed the time. The smile didn't reach his eyes, but that didn't matter. Nothing reached his eyes anymore. The man who had loved Lisa and Megan was gone, replaced by someone harder, colder, unreachable. Let Lisa lose everything. Let Megan learn the price of betrayal. Let them cry, regret, and beg for forgiveness. He had chosen his path, a path without wife, without daughter, without warmth or forgiveness. A path where trust, once broken, stayed broken forever. In the empty house, Lisa sat alone in the darkness, holding her worthless pearl necklace, the last reminder of the life she had destroyed. Tomorrow would bring more struggles, more loneliness, more consequences. But tonight, she sat in silence, haunted by the ghosts of what she had lost. In her mind, Evan's words echoed with devastating finality. You wanted freedom, now you have it.